The new One UI 7 beta is unlike anything we've seen before. From its exceptional polish to its buttery smooth performance, Samsung seems to be taking a fresh approach this time. But what truly sets this update apart isn't just the number of features and improvements it promises. It's also the deliberate, almost calculated way Samsung is rolling it out, both in beta and stable forms. The timeline has been a surprise. Samsung usually kicks off its beta programs around August, as we saw with One UI 5 and 6 in 2022 and 2023. But One UI 7 beta came to life much later in December. This delay has shifted everything, with the stable release now expected in 2025, right after the launch of the Galaxy S25. For context, by this time last year, One UI 6 had already graced several flagship and mid-range devices with its stable release. It's a stark contrast, and one that has left many wondering why Samsung has chosen such a different strategy this year. Despite the delay, the beta itself has exceeded expectations. Samsung appears to be pacing itself, and the results speak volumes. Even in its second beta iteration, One UI 7 is running flawlessly on my Galaxy S24 Ultra. No crashes, no stutters, just seamless performance. It's rare to see a beta so stable this early, but One UI 7 manages to set a new standard. Sure, there are some reports of minor bugs from other users, but the overall feedback has been remarkably positive compared to previous beta versions. It's as if Samsung took the extra time to ensure this beta would deliver a near-perfect experience right out of the gate. This deliberate pace may also have another purpose. Samsung seems to be aligning the official release of One UI 7 with the Galaxy S25 launch in January, potentially turning it into a headline feature. If that's the case, it's a bold move, one that could further enhance the buzz surrounding their upcoming flagship device. Samsung has a history of strategically linking software and hardware announcements, and this could be another example of their long-term planning in action. Interestingly, Samsung appears to be limiting the beta program to just 3 devices: the Galaxy S24, S24 Plus, and S24 Ultra. While some might see this as a drawback, it could be a strategic decision tied to the already delayed schedule. By focusing on fewer devices, Samsung might be aiming to refine the experience further, ensuring the stable rollout is as smooth as possible. This selective approach could also help the company gather more concentrated feedback, allowing them to make meaningful adjustments before the final release. Having used One UI 7 extensively, I can confidently say it's a joy to experience, even in its beta form. Its responsiveness and polish make it clear that Samsung is leaving no stone unturned. Every tap feels precise, every animation flows naturally, and the overall fluidity is unmatched. It's hard to believe this is still a beta version. It sets a high bar for what we can expect when the stable version arrives next year. One UI 7 represents more than just a software update. It's a glimpse into Samsung's future direction. Whether it's the seamless performance, the minimal bugs, or the deliberate rollout, everything about this update feels carefully crafted. Samsung seems to be signaling that it's not just about rushing to release, but about delivering an experience that feels complete and refined from day one.
The smartphone industry is constantly evolving, with each new year bringing us flagship devices that push the boundaries of technology and design. In this video, we'll be taking a close look at the 2 biggest names in the smartphone world right now: Apple's iPhone 16 Pro Max and Samsung's Galaxy S24 Ultra. Both phones are powerhouses in their own right, but how do they stack up against each other? Let's dive into the battle of the bigs. Design and size. As expected, Apple's iPhone 16 Pro Max doesn't deviate much from its predecessor when it comes to design. The rectangular shape, soft corners, flat sides, and dynamic island pill-shaped cutout remain. This year, however, the screen has grown from 6.7 inches to a massive 6.9 inches, making it the largest display ever on an iPhone. Its bezels are even thinner, but the overall dimensions have changed slightly, measuring 163 millimeters by 77.6 millimeters. In comparison, the Galaxy S24 Ultra is slightly smaller at 162.3 millimeters in height, but a bit wider at 79 millimeters, making it easier to handle for users who love to use the S Pen for sketching or taking notes. Speaking of the S Pen, Samsung once again offers the stylus nestled into the bottom of the Galaxy S24 Ultra. It's a feature that remains unique to Samsung in the flagship market, and one that many users either love or ignore completely. The precision of the S Pen, developed in partnership with Wacom, is something to be admired, making it a fantastic tool for creative tasks. Apple, on the other hand, introduces some new tricks with its buttons. The Action button, which debuted in the iPhone 15 Pro series, returns, offering customizable functions for launching apps or activating Siri shortcuts. But the real star of the show is the new Camera Control button. This physical key, equipped with a capacitive surface, allows users to control the camera with a swipe, much like a traditional camera shutter button, enhancing the photography experience. Both phones come in sleek color options. The iPhone 16 Pro Max offers titanium finishes in white, black, natural, and the new Desert Titanium. Meanwhile, Samsung gives users a broader selection with titanium violet, yellow, black, and gray, and 3 exclusive colors if you order directly from Samsung's website. Display differences. When it comes to display, both phones boast impressive technology. The iPhone 16 Pro Max features a 6.9-inch OLED panel with a 120Hz refresh rate and an always-on display that can drop its refresh rate to just 1 Hz, keeping your wallpaper or photos visible even when the phone is asleep. Samsung's Galaxy S24 Ultra comes equipped with its signature AMOLED screen, also featuring a 120Hz refresh rate and an always-on display. However, Samsung has a slight edge here with its anti-reflective coating, which makes the screen much easier to see outdoors. In contrast, the iPhone struggles with reflections in bright sunlight despite its high brightness. Color accuracy is another area where the two phones differ slightly. The iPhone's display leans towards a yellowish hue, while the Galaxy has a bit of a teal tint. But with both phones offering blue light filters and adaptive color calibration, these differences are minimal in day-to-day use. One new feature for the iPhone 16 Pro Max is its ability to drop to an incredibly low 1-nit brightness level, making it easier on the eyes in dark environments. Samsung's display already hovers around this level, so both phones are excellent for nighttime use. Performance and software. Under the hood, the iPhone 16 Pro Max is powered by Apple's latest A18 Pro chip, built on a second-gen 3nm process by TSMC. This cutting-edge chip brings significant improvements in performance and efficiency, particularly when it comes to handling heavy tasks like gaming and AI-driven processes. Apple has also focused on better heat dissipation, addressing the overheating issues that plagued the A17 Pro chip. The Galaxy S24 Ultra, on the other hand, is powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, specifically tuned for Samsung devices. While both chips are incredibly powerful, benchmarks show that Apple's A18 Pro takes the lead in CPU performance. However, in 3D graphics tests, the Galaxy S24 Ultra isn't far behind, offering stellar gaming performance. Both Apple and Samsung are pushing into the realm of AI, with dedicated NPU cores to handle AI tasks. The iPhone 16 Pro Max comes with Apple Intelligence, which will roll out new features gradually, while the Galaxy S24 Ultra already boasts AI-powered features like live translation, generative image editing, and transcript summaries. As for software, the iPhone runs iOS, which has seen some welcome changes this year, bringing it closer to the flexibility of Android. You can now place app icons anywhere on the home screen and even customize their colors. But if customization is what you're after, Samsung's One UI still reigns supreme with features like split-screen multitasking, themes, and more. Samsung has also stepped up its software update game, promising 7 years of updates for the Galaxy S24 Ultra compared to Apple's 5-year commitment for the iPhone. Camera capabilities. Apple has made some significant upgrades to the cameras on the iPhone 16 Pro Max, particularly the ultra-wide camera, which now features a 48-megapixel sensor. The main camera remains at 48 megapixel, and the 5x telephoto camera comes with a 12-megapixel sensor. A new lens coating helps reduce the lens flare issue that has been prevalent in recent iPhone models, especially during night shots. Samsung, as always, is pushing the envelope with its camera hardware. The Galaxy S24 Ultra boasts a hopping 200-megapixel main camera, alongside a 12-megapixel ultra-wide, a 10-megapixel 3x telephoto, and a 50-megapixel 5x zoom camera. While the megapixel count might seem impressive, the real magic happens in post-processing. Both phones have excellent cameras, but Samsung has a slight edge in zoom performance, while the iPhone tends to over-sharpen fine details like leaves or grass. In low-light conditions, both phones perform admirably, but the iPhone's new lens coating helps reduce the flare and artifacts that can appear in night photos. Samsung, on the other hand, continues to struggle slightly with oversaturated greens in its images, but this is only noticeable when directly comparing photos side by side. Battery and charging. When it comes to battery life, both phones pack a punch. The iPhone 16 Pro Max has a 4,685 mAh battery, while the Galaxy S24 Ultra comes with a slightly larger 5,000 mAh battery. However, Samsung takes the lead in charging speeds, offering 45-watt wired charging compared to the iPhone's 20-watt. For wireless charging, Apple's MagSafe offers 25-watt, while Samsung's wireless charging maxes out at 15-watt. Conclusion. So, which phone is the better choice? It's a tough call. The iPhone 16 Pro Max impresses with its sleek design, powerful A18 Pro chip, and improved cameras, while the Galaxy S24 Ultra excels with its S Pen, higher megapixel count, and faster charging speeds. Ultimately, it comes down to personal preference and whether you're more entrenched in Apple's ecosystem or Samsung's Android world. Either way, you're getting a top-tier smartphone that won't disappoint. What do you think about it? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Until then, take care. Goodbye.